Charlotte Flair dumps Nia out. It's down to Charlotte and Roxanne. It's down to Charlotte and Roxanne. Nia. Roxanne looking to eliminate Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, though, may be in control. Roxanne out to the apron. One of these women are going to WrestleMania. Charlotte with a kick. Charlotte Flair is going to WrestleMania.
Here is your 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner, Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair becomes a two-time winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match. She now gets to pick the champion of her choosing to face at the Granddaddy, the spectacle in Las Vegas, WrestleMania. Both teetering on the apron, close to elimination, exchanging blows. Disaster waiting for you down below. No risk it, no biscuit. Uso with a super kick. John just hanging on. Just hanging on. Look at the AA. Jay hanging in there. Jay wins. Jay Uso. Jay Uso is going to WrestleMania.
Here is your 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner, main event, Jay Uso.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer just a nickname. It is no longer a moniker. Jay Uso is truly the main event at WrestleMania.
And like, we miss you, Charlotte. We love you, Charlotte. And like, as a performer, sometimes you do feel like, do I still got it? You know, what am I coming back to do? I've done it all. And coming back tonight and winning the Rumble 2 times, it's like, no, I'm coming back to do it all over again. That's how hungry I am.
No shit. Eat a sandwich. Huh? Benoit balls.
I still think Kevin Sullivan did it.
I'm Aubrey Edwards. I'm not a wrestler.
Tony's quick sniffs of the week.
No, just my dickhead friends causing concussions and shit. All right, never mind.
There's barbecue sauce. So good, half the face don't work.
With Hogan that close up on the fucking camera reminds me of my racist uncle. I know you ain't listening, but you know who you are, you fucking racist.
Uncle Oh my God, for real, don't tell me that's his name. Oh, no way. I was kidding. I swear to God. It was just the first thing that came to my head. It was the first thing.
Welcome to the Top of Wrestling with your hosts ODM and the Professor.
Good Wrestling Day. That's right, it's the day y'all been waiting for. It's the ODM solo show. Not like it's the first time, and it probably ain't gonna be the last time because of that broken-throated bitch. We're back, it's another week, and it's gonna be a big show. This is a jam-packed episode. I went all out. Even broke some records, as you'll hear later. So let's get right into it. And hey, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and the X. Unless you're just not a big fan of Musk, and you can just ignore that and go on Blue Sky. We're not there, but you might find something you like. I don't know. Today's show, we've got, like I said, we got a lot. We got some news. We got Royal Rumble 2025 results. We've still got to bring it to the table. We go back 25 years and relive the Monday Night Wars with Nitro and Raw. And A new top topic. It's our musician or band of the week. This week it's a band. It is Clutch, a band that I've tried to get the professor into multiple times, but he just doesn't seem to give a shit. So got a little surprise on that one too. But let's get into the news. Oh, wait a minute, swerve, because I couldn't do this show without the professor. How you doing, fella? Yep, he may not be able to talk, but he's still putting in the work, and he's still going to be on this show one way or another. Damn it, he doesn't get off that easy. So, a little insight here. Our professor is home. He's doing well. Everything went well, and that massive dick nut on his vocal cords turned out not to be cancerous. So, good shit right there. He's doing good. The plan is to make him laugh so hard throughout this episode that he's going to have to go back in the hospital for pain management. But if you've ever listened to this show, you know that laughs are few and far between, so I think he'll be just fine. So let's get into the news. Let's start off. We typically, don't really focus too much on wrestling couples, but every once in a while we throw something in there. And since Charlotte Flair made her return to WWF, I think it was worth noting. I just saw something. Yes, I know I said WWF. Charlotte Flair and Andrade apparently got divorced last year in 2024. It looks like Charlotte filed for the divorce in June of 2024, and it was signed off on by a judge in October of 2024. So the power couple that never really was a power couple. I don't know. Maybe she didn't like his mama's cooking. I have no idea. By the looks of her, it probably would make some sense. Not sure if any of you have seen the video of Joey Janela getting into a fight at a GCW meet and greet. Pretty fucking hilarious. Just a bunch of clowns. Somebody flipped a table that had Janela's merch on it, and Janela picked it up and threw it at him. And as soon as he did it, he had this look on his face like, shit, I don't think that was the right move. It was another wrestler that he's had beef with, something about talking shit in AEW. I have no fucking idea, but, so let's, I got a little quote from Joey Janela that he posted on social, media. Here it is right here. Quote, gonna nip this in the butt. It's not butt, but okay. There's a video circulating of me getting ambushed at my table while I was meeting fans after the show tonight. It stems from him airing his grievances about his experience doing AEW extra work the day after Brody Lee's death that a lot of us were very upset about. I took to Twitter because I thought it was disgusting, and we went back and forth. Tonight, 4 years later, he flipped me and Megan's gimmick table over to confront me, and we got into a scuffle, which resulted in the GCW crew thinking I was getting attacked by a deranged fan, and Megan thinking it was some weird Joey Janela skit. For someone that claims to have boxing training, amazingly not one punch landed, and he was eventually carried out like a crying baby by Calvin Tankman. Sorry to all the fans that had to witness that. It was an extremely embarrassing situation, and sorry to all the Indianapolis crew that wanted to put on a great weekend of independent wrestling for the city. Sorry if I contributed to any of the unneeded drama, end quote. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Good old jelly Nutella, as Cornette likes to call him. Next piece of news is Triple H is going to be your first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame Class 2025. He was doing a press conference or a press event, it looks like in the arena that the Rumble was at. And HBK and Taker came out and they broke the news to him. So that was a pretty cool moment. They swerved him. They got him. Triple H said something like, the first thing I'm going to do when I got it here is kill Nick Khan. So, I mean, it was pretty humorous. It's one of those things because he's already in with D-Generation X, so does he really need to be in again? But there's a precedent for that. It's happened quite a few times. So, yeah. So, I mean, hey, it's not the worst thing. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Triple H. To say that he doesn't belong to have a solo spot in the Hall of Fame is kind of ridiculous. He's definitely worthy of that. So congrats to him, and I'm glad that two of his closest friends and people that he's battled with and alongside with over the years were the ones that got to break it to him. All right, before I get to the next piece of news, I just want to make it clear that this week I'm doing things a little bit differently. The Rumble was a big event. It's something we were all waiting for. And with the professor not here, I am not doing any reviews or recaps of any of the weekly shows. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, TNA. I'm not doing that. We're just going to focus strictly on the Royal Rumble. But I am going to bring up the Raw from last week. Again, kayfabe pal. We recorded the day of Raw, earlier in the evening. So we didn't have the results that week. But there was a tag match between the War Raiders and Judgment Day. And JD McDonough just about died. He did like a moonsault, and when he landed, the back of his neck hit the announce table. His head snapped back. It looked like he broke his goddamn neck. I mean, I thought he was fucking dead. It was amazing. And the thing is, they've got those new commentary tables that don't break away so easily. So there was like no give. And this motherfucker finished the match. He took more bumps, and he took the pin. But yeah, he got taken out of there. He went right to the hospital afterwards, and apparently his neck is okay. It must be that big old bobble heat of his. But he did suffer some broken ribs and a punctured lung, so he's going to be out of action for a couple of months. Hopefully he heals up. I think, for a mid-carder who's just kind of been the lackey of the Judgment Day for the last year or so, he's filled his role pretty good. It'd be nice to see him break out and do some stuff independently. It's just that fucking heat, man. Anyway, we've got an update in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Previously, when we first covered it, there were a lot of references to unnamed superstar, I think is how it was referred to. Well, we all assumed it was Brock Lesnar. That has now been confirmed. He has been formally named in the Janelle Grant lawsuit, along with Michael P.S. Hayes. Hey, get this cool. I like to see women peeing on Vince McMahon t-shirt, $5.99. Okay, not as good as the Professor, I know. Apparently, for this next piece of news, I'm a little derelict in my duties of taking good notes, because I thought I had some tweets, but if any of you have been on social media, you will have noticed that Asuka has been tweeting a lot about having to remind fans that have romantic feelings for her that she is not interested and never will be. It seems like she's kind of just been getting bombarded on social media lately, but apparently it's actually risen to the point of some stalking going on, to the point where she's been in contact with the authorities and WWE is getting involved. So it sounds like, per her latest tweets, that everybody's taking it seriously, and it's being handled. So hopefully all is well for her, and hopefully we get to see her back in the ring soon. Let's see. John Cena, apparently, again, one thing I'll mention from this past Raw from a couple days ago is that they did have a couple qualifying matches for Elimination Chamber. CM Punk beat Sami Zayn, so he's going to be in. And I forget the other one. It was a women's match. But meanwhile, John Cena doesn't have to have a qualifying match. He's just going to say that he's going to be in Elimination Chamber, and that's that. So good for Cena, I guess. They robbed him of the Rumble victory, so we'll see where this one goes. Yeah, I know. We're going to get to it. And speaking of, before we get to the Rumble, let's talk about one thing that came out of it. There are a lot of reports, and some people are saying it's kayfabe, some people are saying it's not. You'll have to read through the bullshit. This story has a lot of talking points. I pulled some info from an article on Cultaholic. PW Insider is giving a lot of information on this, and so is the Wrestling Observer and Meltzer. So I'm just going to kind of give those hat tips, and we're just going to go through this quickly. The main headline here is that Drew McIntyre stormed out of the building following the Rumble. He was pretty loud when storming out of the building. He was gone from the stadium well before the match ended, according to reports. And it stemmed from something going wrong with his elimination. McIntyre was screaming and cursing when he got to the back that someone had to get their moves in at the expense of a number of stories in the matches. McIntyre was suddenly eliminated by Damian Priest right after Logan Paul entered at number 30. Apparently there was no build-up to McIntyre's elimination. He was just dumped over the top rope by Damian Priest all of a sudden, which is a match that they're kind of angling for WrestleMania, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Dave Meltzer has reported that McIntyre wasn't the only one unhappy, and a lot of people were, because this particular wrestler was trying to get himself over and not the match over. Here's a quote from Dave Meltzer. Even before it came out, I had heard, and somebody goes, "Don't worry, it's a work. And then that same person came back later and goes, oh, God, I just figured he was doing that because it was in front of everybody. And just said there's a guy a lot of people were pissed at in the match with the idea he was trying to get himself over and not the match over. And he was doing things. It's multiple people telling me the Drew thing. He wasn't happy. It's not an angle. If they end up doing an angle with the person later, which there's no hints of anything, but the reason I heard it was because I heard that Drew was not the only one unhappy about the situation. Meltzer, a wordsmith as always. Interesting to see where this goes. Drew has been playing the line so well lately, even storming out of a podcast on one occasion with Bubba Ray. So, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I've seen some other reports online, and I, take it with a grain of salt again, because, everybody's a fucking insider these days, that the guilty party is LA Knight. I can't say that. I mean, these Rumble matches are meant for somebody to come in, get their shit over, and then wait for the next person. I mean, that's basically what both Rumbles were. So I don't see that being a problem. It doesn't matter. Drew wasn't winning anyway, so who cares how you got eliminated, but whatever. So that's that. All right. Now, let's get to it. Let's talk about the Rumble. All right, calm your tits. We'll get there, all right? Calm your tits. We opened up with the Women's Rumble, and as you probably know by now, Charlotte Flair came back and won the Rumble. Looking like she hasn't eaten in a few days, or weeks, or months. I don't know. It started with Io Sky and Liv Morgan. Those were kind of your Iron Women of the match. Unfortunately, it was a lot of napping. You know what I mean? So you get those in Rumbles. Jericho, I think, there was the 1 year in the Rumble, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. Actually, no, probably more than that. I don't know. But, he ended up actually on the floor and just laid there for like 15 minutes. So it's not really anything new. But, you could really see that Io Sky was the one when people came in. They're like, okay, we're working with Io because she knows what the fuck she's doing, and she'll take care of us. So it did work out. They kind of like switched it up and did what Tony Khan was always supposed to do, the sports-based entertainment, where they had stats at the bottom, how many entrants or what entrant they're on, how many active wrestlers, how many eliminations, and then they would throw other stats up there. It was pretty cool. I definitely dug that. It was very nice. Jordynne Grace was out. She massive pop, looks like $1 million. Hit a rolling Death Valley driver on Piper Niven, which was impressive, and she struggled too. He had to get her up there. She got her on her shoulders, and then it was, even Wheezy said it was all in her legs, man. She just stood up, and it looked great. She got eliminated by Julia, I think, and it seems like they might be teasing that. So it seems like Grace might be going to NXT facing Julia for the NXT Women's title. I'm interested. I'm happy to see that. So there's no reason to rush Jordynne Grace to the main roster because she's going to be a world beater when she gets there. And maybe even doing something with her and Ripley would be great. Alexa Bliss returned. That pop was huge. She still looks like $1 million. I'm sorry, not sorry. She had the jacket, Fiend Forever, but there was an R and an S at the end in red, so it was Friends Forever. She had the doll with her. It was awesome. It was just good to see her there. She didn't do a ton in the ring, like most people. She came in and did her spots, and it was fantastic. Apparently, she's going to be permanently part of the Raw brand, so it'll be interesting to see where they go from here with her. We had a pretty cool stare down between Julia, Stephanie Vacour, and Roxanne Perez, staring down Bianca Belair, Bayley, and Charlotte Flair. So you kind of had that old school and new school NXT division thing going there. So that was a cool stare down. There was one part, Chelsea Green was great. Chelsea Green got eliminated, came back in the ring because she said she called timeout. And then she got caught in between Belair and Naomi and Lash Legend and B-Fab, or B-Slab as I call her now. So that was pretty fucking funny. And then Piper, she sees Piper coming down the ramp. And Piper didn't run. She maybe jogged a little bit at the end. And Piper ends up bumping Chelsea off the apron and onto the floor, eliminating her friend. So that was a good moment right there. Speaking of the ramp, it was one of those long-ass ramps. I hate when they do that. And it was funny because you could tell, if you didn't watch the product, you could tell who the stars were and who the mid-carders were based on how quickly they got to the ring. Because they apparently told certain people, hey, you don't get to pose or do anything. Get your ass to the ring right now. And then some people, like Bianca Belair, skipped the whole way to the ring, twirling her, long ass, braid, right? So, that was kind of humorous, but at times it just added to an entirely way too fucking long Rumble. This was way too fucking long. Way too fucking long. I really just wish they would have just cut it down 15 minutes. It seemed like it took forever. And unfortunately, it impacted the next match, which was DIY taking on Motor City Machine Guns in a best of 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag titles. I was excited for this. I called this possibly being match of the night. But, unfortunately, I didn't really watch much of this because I was so spent after watching that damn Rumble that I just needed to walk away and, throw some tarts and just, I couldn't sit there and watch this match anymore, which is a damn shame. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. But, the one thing that I did see was the ending, and there was this really clever fake tag by Gargano. And at first when I saw it, I'm like, did he fuck that up or did he do that on purpose? No, he did it. It was an interesting way to do the switcheroo. He faked the tag. The ref saw that they didn't tag. But Gargano still got in the ring, and Motor City Machine Guns tried pinning him, even though he wasn't the legal man. That gave Ciampa the advantage, and they retained. So I like that. Post-match, the Private Profits or Street Profits, I don't even remember their real names anymore, showed up and wrecked the shop and apparently and held up the tag title. So apparently they're going to get involved. I haven't really cared about them, I don't think, ever. But, now they're kind of booking them as, supposedly badass heels. Let's see where this goes. I'm not going to shit on it just yet. Maybe it's got potential. Maybe it doesn't. So we'll see where that goes. The next match, it was Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens in the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship, because we have to do that again because, just can't have a world title. I love this match. I thought it was good. Michael Cole made an interesting note that no man in WWE history has had more title matches at the Royal Rumble than Kevin Owens. That's an interesting stat right there. Never thought of it that way. At one point, Kevin Owens gets like the foot-tall ladder. It was just fucking great. It was just the way they used it. It was fucking awesome. Cody pulled a callback to a ladder match that he had with Wade Barrett, who broke off a rung off the ladder and used it as a weapon. And Barrett, even called it out himself and kind of dug it. So that was a cool little callback. There was Cody delivered a back body drop onto the edges of a ladder, and that was a tough one. And then there was the Fisherman's Buster by Owens to Rhodes, and the fucked up thing about it was Rhodes didn't take the worst bump. Kevin Owens took the worst bump because the fucking back of his neck hit the fucking ladder. That looked brutal, and at that point, they actually almost looked like they were going to stop the match. Sami Zayn came out. He was checking on both because he didn't know who to side with. And then Cody hit a sick Alabama slam to Kevin Owens through a ladder that was propped up between the commentary table and the apron of the ring. And, man, the way Owens rolled back, he almost got his head, like, in between the rungs. It was nasty looking. I thought it was a good finish, and Rhodes, even as the babyface, he's, yeah, fuck around and find out, bro. And he just bounced. It was good. And Sammy was checking on Owens the whole time. So, furthering that storyline, spoiler alert, one thing that did happen on this past Raw was after the Punk Zayn match, Owens came out and package pile drove Sami Zayn. So they're back at it again. We've seen that movie before. And on to the Men's Rumble. All right. Opened up with Penta and Mysterio. It was pretty obvious. Like, Mysterio came out and we were trying to figure out who it would be, and I said Penta, and then Penta came out. It made sense. Apparently Buster talked to Professor and had mentioned, kind of showed Penta's true colors with some of the botches, his feet hitting the ground, and it happens. Give the guy some time. He's over as hell. He's definitely had a couple botches in his matches so far, but he'll learn the system, and I think he'll pick it up pretty easily. So, not too terrible. Speed showed up. I'm sure Professor's like, huh? Having kids, I know he's a streamer. That's all I know. So he's that Logan Paul class, just not as famous. But apparently he is, because he actually assisted Logan Paul in a previous match. He was the guy that was dressed up in the Prime bottle. I think KSI did it once, and then I Am Speed did it once. Or I Show Speed, whatever the fuck his name is. Who gives a shit anyway? But anyway, Akira Tozawa came out, and somebody took him out on their way back after being eliminated. I forget who it was. So Tozawa's there laying. He can't participate, and Triple H just happens to go to I Show Speed, who's just in Gorilla for a reason. It's like, hey, you need to go out there and take his place. Okay, yeah, sure. I Show Speed eliminated... God, I can't fucking remember who he eliminated. It was somebody that everybody hated. I forget. Maybe it was even Carmelo Hayes. I'm not sure. But after that, he's celebrating with Bron Breakker, and I Show Speed actually does a backflip, and Bron's like, yeah, cool, bro. And Bron does that running off the ropes at 50 miles an hour and just speared him to hell and back. It was amazing. It was great. That got a pop. Not as big as a pop as Joe Hendry showing up. That was huge. He wasn't in there long. He didn't need to be. He showed up. He did his thing. It was great to fucking see him there. AJ Styles returned, had his old music. That was fucking awesome. That also drew a big pop. Wasn't in there too long, I don't think. I also saw some stuff saying he might have gotten injured again. Okay, fine. John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins entered back-to-back-to-back. Mysterio came in after them, so what a buzzkill. They had a moment where, what was it, Punk eliminated Rollins and Reigns. That was a great moment, but then Logan Paul eliminated CM Punk. How the fuck are you going to have Logan Paul eliminate CM Punk? What kind of shit is that? But after that, there was a great bit with Reigns, Rollins, and Punk just arguing. And it's actually Reigns looking at Punk like, hey, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Why'd you do that? And then Rollins curb stomps Reigns. Curb stomps him again on the fucking steel steps. Punk and Rollins are going after it. So, that part was good. It furthered the story. We'll see where it goes from there. And then it ended up with Jey Uso and John Cena, and it seemed pretty straightforward that John Cena was going to win like we thought. And no, in quite possibly the biggest upset in Rumble history, Jey Uso is apparently really main event Jey Uso now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I was not happy. I was at Wheezy's, and I walked out the door and slammed it. I eventually came back, but it's just, I just don't get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. He's over as hell. He's selling merch. I'm just tired of him. I don't want to see it. And now I guess he's going to go after Gunther. I would assume that's going to be the thing, and he's going to win it. If you don't pull the trigger on it at this point, what are we doing here? We'll see if he has a Kofi Kingston style reign, or if it's actually going to go the distance or something. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of polarization on this Rumble, with Charlotte Flair winning and Jey Uso winning. I think both their YouTube videos have more dislikes than likes at this point. And but again, it seems that now that it's starting to settle in, especially with Jey Uso's promo from this past Raw, is that, this really could have a good, feel-good payoff, almost as good as Cody's, to be quite honest with you. Me, personally, I still think it sucks. Okay. Oh, hey, all right! Jesus! Professor, tell us what you thought about the Rumble.
Hello, ODM, and the rest of you Top of Wrestling listeners. This is the Professor, and I am alive. But this is how you will have to listen to me from here on out, as I have removed my vocal cords permanently. Ha 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 ha. I joke. I of course am still unable to talk, but will return soon. Surgery went well. And even though I can't talk, I am doing just fine with my Hector Salamanca bell. Also used the whiteboard, and this lovely app that I am using right now. Technology. So, the Royal Rumble is one of my favorite events each year. So, there was no way you would not hear from me this week, somehow, some way. I won't take up too much time and let you get back to your regularly scheduled ODM show. So here goes. First couple of notes. I looked into that sign about The Sopranos. Excellent sign. While I did love the new graphic at the bottom with the updated numbers, I was not a fan of how quickly a graphic was ready after each elimination. Okay, the Women's Royal Rumble was decent. Way too slow to get eliminations going. Over halfway through the match before eliminations happened. There was a ton of just laying on the ground in both matches. Especially with that long entranceway and everyone basically pausing until they got to the ring. Loved the huge pops for Alexa Bliss and Jordynne Grace. Charlotte Flair looks like Cher. If I could turn back time, I would tell her to not get plastic surgery. Ha 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 ha. On to the 2 out of 3 Falls Tag Team title match. Why ruin a good thing? The Private Profits made no sense and only pissed me off. As for the WWE title match, I liked all of the spots and the pace. I was shocked that the Alabama Slam is what ended the match in a lackluster way. And on to the Men's Rumble. I liked the opening idea of Penta and Mysterio. But as Buster pointed out in a message to me, he showed his true colors with a lot of botches. But I guess that's just lucha wrestling. I absolutely have no idea who I show Speed is. And thank you Braun Breaker for killing him. I did not like the Rumble decisions. Logan Paul took out Punk, who is still fighting with Rollins, but it is clear the direction is Roman. So where do we go from there, since they made the decision to let Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble? Not a fan of this show overall, including many of its decisions, and very few surprises. Quite possibly one of the worst. So in closing, I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell, and fuck Logan Paul and his stupid dumb idiotic pussy face.
Yeah, fuck Logan Paul. Somebody should put his ass through a fucking table. Speaking of tables.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
Whether it's a table for one or a table of two, we still got to make this stop on the journey we call the Top of Wrestling podcast. I know, bells aside, ringing bells aside, speaking spells aside, everybody wants to hear the Professor. Not really. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Professor!
Spending my days working hard on the go, but the hand on the clock keeps spinning too slow. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. You know that Nightwing and ODM are getting sick and tired of hearing me sing this week after week, but you know they're liars, 'cause I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. I'll sing this goddamn song all I want, it's my show. Baby, it's true, Joe has a one-track mind, but it's hard to concentrate with a brain that's like mine. That's right, baby. The Top of Wrestling Podcast knows that Eldo Montoya can be just incredible, and Bill DeMott can be very goddamn humorous. I'll sing this goddamn song all I want, it's my show.
All right, I get it. Don't call me out here, I get it. Every time he's away, I just throw that song in it, bring it to the table, and I call it a day. Hey, man, I've done a ton of editing. I've put a lot of work into this show. You can deal with hearing him sing that shitty-ass rendition of that song again. What do you want from me? I know. I phoned it in. But you know who else phoned it in? WCW in the year 2000. Let's hop in the DeLorean.
Monday Night Wars! You know, Kevin Kelly, The Rock says this. You ask The Rock about WrestleMania. You ask The Rock about No Way Out. You ask The Rock about Cactus Jack. Well, let The Rock ask you a question. Have you ever had any pie?
Yeah, Rock, as a matter of fact, I had a piece of apple pie earlier this afternoon. It was very delicious.
Well, it looks like you've had more than one piece of apple pie, obviously, Kevin. But The Rock's not talking about apple pie. The Rock is talking about poontang pie.
Well, Rock, I don't mean to brag, but, you know, come on. I mean, you're talking about me here as far as whether or not I've had a piece of poontang pie before in my life. I mean, come on. That's...
Don't lie to The Rock. You have never had a piece of poontang pie. But The Rock says this, jabroni, today is your lucky day. Because over here to the right, The Rock has your very first piece of poontang pie.
But last night when I was kicking it in the booty-o, proving that I was the daddy, that I was the king of the night. But I'm not one to brag. Medeja, Kim, why don't you tell me what it's like to be with the Purple Warrior?
The what?
You're damn straight. So this goes to all my freaks out there. Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
All right, it's the Monday Night Wars, February 7th, 2000. Let's see how this goes, or if it's an epic shit show, which I'm guessing it's going to be. As usual, we're going to start with Raw. Get a little bit of a flashback from SmackDown. We've got matchups between the Radicals and DX. This is in order for them to get their contract. Malenko versus X-Pac. Tori causes a distraction and allows X-Pac to defeat Malenko. Saturn and Guerrero, against the Outlaws. Road Dogg pulls the ref out of the ring, and Eddie gets injured. Outlaws win. So we get Benoit versus Triple H. Ref bump because wrestling. Benoit gets the crippler on. We get a tap out, but the ref's down, so it doesn't matter. Benoit hits the flying headbutt and gets no 3 count. A low blow, pedigree, Triple H wins. Raw's coming to you from Dallas, Texas this week. Got a note from JR that Kane's been institutionalized. Radicals come to the ring. We've got Eddie in his arm brace, or sling. X-Pac and Tori are at the ringside. X-Pac chair in hand. Tori in the other. And of all people, Saturn gets on the mic first. Saturn says they wanted to make an impact, but they also wanted a contract for WWF. Malenko on the mic next. Malenko says they weren't good enough on SmackDown. They wanted to make an impact and get contracts. Just weren't good enough. Eddie's on the mic next. Dislocated his elbow, that's what it was. See, if Professor were here, he would have piped in right away.
Agreed.
Lawler says, are they saying goodbye? JR says, probably. Lawler goes, good. Benoit on the mic wants to thank Cactus Jack. So naturally, Cactus Jack comes out. After Cactus gets to the ring, starts hugging everybody from the Radicals, Triple H's music hits. Him and Stephanie come out. Like Stephanie's in full leather this week. Stephanie runs everybody down as usual. Some things never change. They played the game and they lost. She asks what their next play is. The Dallas Cowboys defensive line? I don't get it. The 82nd Airborne, the Russian Army? What the fuck is she on about?
Huh?
Asshole chants when Triple H gets the mic. Triple H wants to put this matter to rest. It's been going on too long. Time to finish it once and for all. Triple H proposes that one more time, Cactus and Triple H at No Way Out. This is it. His last shot at Triple H on the title. Tells Cactus he can have any kind of match he wants. He says the one exception is no 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire. Pussy. No sharp metallic objects. No thumbtacks, thank God for some things. No sadistic toys. Phrasing. Triple H says they're going to have a match, plain and simple. Cactus says, doesn't seem like a whole lot of fun. Cactus says, Hell in the Cell. Triple H does not look pleased. Is it Hell in the Cell or Hell in a Cell? Because they keep saying Hell in the Cell. Triple H adds a stipulation. Cactus's career on the line. Triple H makes it very clear that Mick Foley is going to retire, which includes Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack. Don't do it, Mick. Cactus Jack lists off his accolades and says he's done it all except one thing. He's never main evented a WrestleMania. Sounds like a current storyline.
Agreed.
So Cactus adds a stipulation. If he wins, when he wins, Cactus says if he can't beat Triple H, if he can't win the title, he doesn't want to wrestle again. It's not really much of a stipulation, is it? I mean, if he wins the title, obviously he's going to go to WrestleMania and main event, but whatever, okay, fine. Yada, yada, yada. No Way Out is 3 weeks from today. Took Triple H a few minutes to figure out how many days that was. Triple H, X-Pac, Tori, and Stephanie inch towards the ring. Triple H says right now he wants a piece of Cactus's ass. Phrasing. Triple H starts to get in the ring. Oh, and he pulls a swerve. The Radicals. Well, now hold on a second here. Triple H pulls a swerve. He says to the Radicals, you guys can either get out of the ring or you can pay your appreciation to the man that gave you your contracts. And the Radicals turn on Cactus Jack and beat him down. God damn. Benoit hits a flying headbutt. Triple H hits Cactus with the mic. Hits a pedigree on him. And there you go. DX with the Radicals in the locker room. They're going to team up, take on Mick Foley and whoever else he can find to hang out with him. And Triple H says if he can't find anybody, he's on his own. Next you get Edge and Christian versus the New Age Outlaws. Edge wearing his fuzzy hat is in pimp mode. Dudley's come out right as the bell rings. It's weird. I don't know if it had something to do with the arena setup or something, or if it's the Professor's weird VHS rip, which I don't think it is. But the ramp or the entranceway is on the right side of the hard cam. It's usually on the left. You know, with the exception of MSG, but that's not where we're at, so just an observation. Dudley's head to commentary. This is for the tag titles, by the way. Bubba's running down JR, which is great. The best part is Bubba's cutting his promo on JR the whole time, but he doesn't have a headset on or a mic, so you can barely hear him. Bubba ends up getting interfering in the match. He kind of guillotines Christian on the top rope from the apron, allows Road Dogg to hit a pump handle slam, and the New Age Outlaws retain the tag titles. Edge and Christian and the Bubba's brawl post-match. Oh boy. Next we get Mark Henry with Mae Young backstage, and Mark Henry tells Mae to sit down because she's got a bun in the oven. Ew. Next we get Kurt Angle out. He's got a match against another former Olympian and Mark Henry. Somebody in the crowd has a box of Wheaties with Kurt Angle on it. Brings up Mark Henry impregnating Mae Young. It required a lot of intensity. Definitely lacked integrity and intelligence. You ain't lying. While impregnating elderly women may be acceptable in Dallas, Texas. Alright, so it's sexual chocolate versus Kurt Angle. Mae decides she needs to come to the ring. Angle hit an impressive belly-to-belly on Mark Henry on the floor. That could have went wrong. Big E. Ref's distracted. Mae Young gets in the ring and starts punching Kurt Angle. The ref sees it, calls for a DQ, and Angle hits an angle slam on Mae Young. Because Attitude Era. BB and Mark Henry check on Mae Young. Mae does a great job of selling. I'll give her that. See Mae Young in the back with Moolah and the paramedics. Mae comes to, Mark, you know I don't like it on my back, I like it on top. And then she starts stripping. That's fucking fantastic. And the EMT has this look on his face like, dear God. Lawler says she wants to see the puppies. JR goes, no, we don't. Lawler says there's evaporated milk in there. All right, next we get the Acolytes versus the Hollies in a hardcore tag match. And they basically look like they start to try to recreate what was the concession stand brawl. I forget where they were when they did that. Professor, where you at? Need your help here. Wichita? No, it wasn't Wichita. Kalamazoo? No, it wasn't Kalamazoo. Bradshaw stops to get a drink of beer, and so does Farouk straight from the tap. Hardcore smashes a beer bottle over over Farouk's head, so that's wonderful. Tupelo concession stand brawl, that's what it was. Viscera shows up for reasons, attacks Bradshaw, and Holly's get the win due to the interference. Farouk starts beating down Hardcore post-match. Jericho's out. He says, I'm a little bit in fear, and you'd have to be if you're facing the love child of Mr. T and Fat Albert. Chyna's not there. She's filming an episode of Third Rock from the Sun. In case you are curious as to who Jericho is referring to, it's Viscera. So it's Jericho versus Viscera for the IC title. This is our top of the hour match, by the way. Hollies and Acolytes end up showing up. It's a shit show. DQ. Hooray. Next slide. Coles with the Radicals. Promo on fooling Cactus Jack. Eddie says Foley fooled himself. Looks like Benoit and Saturn got their shirts out of the same closet. Benoit says they're not going to apologize for anything they did or are about to do. Wow. Haunting words from beyond the grave. Luna backstage venting to Gangrel. Pissed off about somebody putting a chair over her head. She's apparently got a title match for the women's title. I don't know who it is. I don't even know who has the women's title, because before it was fucking Harvey Whippleman, so... Or Harvina. Oh, Jacqueline won it. I'm guessing that happened on SmackDown. Hooray. So it's Jacqueline versus Luna Vachon for the women's title. And at some point after their entrance, Gangrel must have spit blood all over Luna because she's covered in fake blood. Outstanding. Well, you know anything about Luna, you know she never held the women's title. Jacqueline retains. Next slide. We get a Taz vignette. Kevin Kelly's with The Rock. Rock is facing Big Show at No Way Out. The winner of that match is going to get a title match at WrestleMania. Rock asks Kevin Kelly if he's ever had a piece of poontang pie, and Kelly plays it off, and he's like, come on, look who you're talking to. And Rock's like, yeah, bullshit. Rock says he's got a piece right over to his right. And it is The Rock's new poontang pie shirt, which he puts over Kelly's face. Rock says he will be joining Mick Foley's side for the Radicals DX match tonight. Big pop. Next, it's Godfather and D-Lo with the host, Dallas's finest, taking on the Dudleys. Were I a gambling man, I'm going to say Edge and Christian are going to interfere. Well, they didn't interfere. Dudleys win. Apparently, Godfather hurt his knee. Dudleys get the tables. BB's out there. She was tending to Godfather, and Devon grabs her. It looks like she's the next victim. Bubba gets her on top of the announce desk, sets up the power bomb, and Edge and Christian make the save. And we get our main event. It's going to be Triple H, X-Pac, Saturn, Benoit, and Malenko versus Cactus Jack, The Rock, and nobody as of yet. Actually, no. We get Rikishi and Too Cool. I mean, for as much of a shit show as this match is and the weird combination of people, crowd's eating it up. And Triple H wins with a pedigree on one of the guys from Too Cool. I don't know. Brian Christopher. And naturally, they just brawl post-match. Lights go out. JR says they lost power, but the Tron is still working. Paul Bearer comes out in a red jacket, and Kane's music plays. The pyro goes off. And oh my God, it's Kane. And Kane proceeds to clean house. And the show goes off with Kane doing the arm raise, remote control with his mind setting off the pyro. Faces stand tall in the middle of the ring, and we'll see you next week, folks. Or on SmackDown. Whatever you want. Anyway, on a Nitro.
After these messages,
we'll be right back.
Look at you, man. I see you sitting on the couch about to roll up that big old ball of nasty ass, sticky ass, stimmy ass Strebo. Ugh, that shit is weak. Watching Maury Povich. Hey, which bring me to thought. Bitch, I'm not the father. Angie, Tammy, Renee, Felicia, Michelle, and a little bitch, Fifi, stay on 59, bitch. I'm not. I wore a rubber that night. Everest College is accredited by the West Coast Commission of Non-Accredited Schools. You can learn anything. They got courses in whatever you want to know. Criminology, plumbing, dope chopping, dope cooking, weed transporting, anything. Even if you want to go on the other side of the law, you can learn some shit. Hey, what's that shit like when you like a junior lawyer?
You mean paralegal?
Yeah. Oh, smart-ass community college nigga like that. Don't you want to do something with your life? All you do is smoke Strebo all day. You don't take care of your kids, nigga. Bitch. You strip all night. I'm studying gynecologist. Yes, ladies, I specialize in ovarian observations. And your boy do free pap smears and mammograms on the 1st and 15th. Enrolling in Everest, up my pimp game 2,000%. There's some cool bitches at this motherfucker, and check this out. They all got low self-esteem. You got cool-ass black broads, busted down snow bunnies, white stringy hair, dog smelling bitches and shit. You got some motherfucking cool ass Latinas with nice asses and lips and titties that's ready to fuck. Mi amo es el verga de puro. Yo tengo más grande verga de todos. You remember that bad light-skinned bitch Sierra from the commercial? The one that kind of looked like Felicia Keys? Your boy fucked that bitch. Trill shit, I ain't lying. Skeeted her up all over her face. I was dropping balls on that hoe. Like, throw them balls. And if your bread ain't right, don't even trip. Cause Everest College accepts all forms of payment for your tuition. Real shit. WIC, EBT, food stamps, my nigga. If you really about your grinding, if you really about your paper, my nigga, you can get your motherfucking bachelor's degree in 3 months. Nigga. You too can aspire to make minimum wage one day, pimping. Fuck the University of Phoenix. I'm down with Everest.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Tonight we start with the NWO in the locker room. Jarrett's teasing a surprise. There's music playing in the background for reasons. Hall says he's talked to Nash. He'll be back soon. I'm really confused as to why there's music playing in the background. Is my feed janky or is something else going on? No, there was music playing in the background. All right. Nitro's live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oh, great. We get to start the night with 3 count in the ring. Fans seem about as excited as I am. Oh, I think it was their music that was playing in the background. Courageous says hit the music when the music's already playing. Makes sense. Norman Smiley's in the control truck. He keeps changing the music on them, fucking with them. The feud we didn't know we needed. Norman Smiley versus 3 count. So Norman Smiley ends up coming to the ring. He's facing one of the guys from 3 count. I think he's faced them all so far. Maybe except for Courageous. I guess we'll find out here in a second. He's not the Kiss Demon anymore either. He's just wearing a hockey jersey. Yep, he's facing Courageous tonight, so he wants to go 3 for 3 with 3 count. Okay. And Smiley gets the win on a reverse roll-up. And Danny Hodges in the crowd, cheering for Norman Smiley. Smiley cuts a promo post-match, because that's what we need. It's wiggle time here in Tulsa. Smiley challenges 3 count to a 3-on-1 match at Super Brawl, so we have that to look forward to. I'm sure it'll be just great. What do you think, Professor? We go backstage. There's a commotion in the locker room. Jay Biggs is in a neck collar and arm brace, freaking out about the... I don't even know what he's freaking out. He's got like an order of protection in his hand. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't care. A limo arrives, as it does every Nitro, and this time it is Ric Flair with the ladies, 3 of them. NWO to the ring. Shivani starts perving on one of the female assistants that the NWO have, the redhead specifically. Scott Steiner's dressed like a pimp. Hey, yo. Mark Madden Hulse keeps teasing, hey, yo, and Mark Madden starts screaming, say it! He's not going to say it. So instead, one of the Harris brothers gets on the mic, because that's what we need. And then the other Harris brother cuts a promo. Again. All right, Steiner finally gets on the mic. Calls himself the Purple Warrior. Ew. Cuts a promo on Ric Flair. Calls Ric Flair the Nature Boy 2. Calls him out for stealing Buddy Rogers' name. Oh, wow. Wow. He fucking calls Flair out for people changing the channel to WWF to watch Stone Cold, somebody who Flair and his friends got fired. Wow. Steiner is so fired up he can barely finish his promo. He calls Flair a butt sucker. Ew. WCW sucks and so do you. Oh, I love these unhinged Scott Steiner programs or promos. At least there's something worth watching. Yeah, Jarrett's turn. We're in Slapnuts country. Let's get down to commissioning. Oh, God. 25 years later, Jeff Jarrett is still in the main event in some company. Handpicked his referee for his title match against Sid at Super Brawl. Mark Johnson. Apparently somebody they use a lot. I don't know. Jarrett makes it a no DQ match as well. Of course. Jarrett books Sid in a match against Scott Hall. Hall keeps grabbing at his knee, and Jarrett goes, "You're cleared." No, you're cleared. It's all right. And eventually the promo ends. Jesus, that was long. David, Flair, Crowbar, and Daphne are with Gene. They're still trying to get the tag titles back. Oh, God, David Flair's going to be in a I Quit match against Terry Funk tonight. Oh, God, David Flair can't cut a promo for shit. And then at Super Brawl, we get Ric Flair versus Terry Funk in a Legends match. For those of you who aren't aware, Legends in wrestling is a code for old. Booker T with Midnight. Booker still has that generic music playing. And the Chiron says Booker. It's like cartoon music. Oh, he gets to face the wall. Great. Biggs comes out in his collar with some security guards. The distraction allows the wall to hit a chokeslam, and the wall gets the win. Biggs is telling security they want Booker arrested. Oh, they're cops, they're not security. Well, that makes sense, huh? And they arrest Booker. Hooray. Shivani says, "This can't be happening. Nobody's ever been arrested on Monday Nitro. I'm pretty sure it's happened before." Macho Man. There's one right there. Brian Knobbs pissed off about last week about having to face Bam Bam. Knobbs has a broken arm, but he's hardcore, so he'll fight anyway. Jarrett pulls the same move again. He says, "You want to be in the ring with him tonight?" And after Knobbs leaves, Jarrett says, "How about Bam Bam?" Funk's with Arn Anderson. Funk tells Arn, "I got to find out where you stand." Bunch of old dudes arguing. Lenny Lane and Lodi, they're gonna face the Mama Lukes tonight. Barbarian's in the ring. Grew his hair out. Looks a little different. It's weird. He's facing Tank Abbott. Great. Instant death. Barbarian makes it look competitive for about 5 seconds. Abbott hits a knockout punch. Hooray. Ooh. We see the demon coffin. So sick. Crowbar goes up to it with a bat or a lead pipe. Starts knocking on it. You know, if his name was Crowbar, he could have a crowbar. He starts playing air guitar on the lead pipe. Then we hear somebody scream. Oh, it was Daphne. Okay. Hooray. Kidman's got his camcorder back. He's watching Tori Wilson put on her makeup. Jesus fucking Christ. Oklahoma's coming to the ring. He's got a clipboard in hand. This can't be good for anybody. Says Jarrett gave him the duties to form a new division in WCW. I can't wait for this. He's the general manager of the women's division, in case you didn't see that one coming. How many women wrestlers do they have? Oh, he's still cutting the anti-woman promo. Hooray. It's bad news for our friend Medusa. Oklahoma calls Dr. Jeter to the ring. Haywood Jeter. Jesus Christ. Plastic surgeon? Doctor says he's done cosmetic work on her. Hooray. He starts listing body parts. He says yes. Oh, Jesus. I just hope this is over soon. Naturally, Medusa comes out. Jesus. They look bigger. She slaps the doctor, kicks him, and JR gets a swift kick to the gut. Breaks the clipboard over the doctor's head. Outstanding. Starts digging her heels into his... Yeah. Ow! Dick Kick City. Next slide. Gene's with Terry Taylor. Talking about the abuse of power by Jeff Jarrett. Terry Taylor's on the WCW executive board. Board can't change participants in the match, but they can change the stipulations. Replacing the ref for the title match. And he makes the Sid-Scott Hall match tonight a championship match. And Taylor points out that if Hall wins, that's going to cause a rift between Jeff Jarrett and the NWO. Cut to the NWO locker room. Hall's laughing his ass off. Jarrett's pissed off. We get some clips from the original Flair Funk I Quit match. So now we get Terry Funk versus David Flair. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Terry Funk cuts a promo on David before the match starts. Gives David one chance now to say I quit before it goes on. I'll go to hell before I'm quitting. Funk starts cutting a promo on Ric Flair, telling him to come out and face him in an I Quit match. David attacks Terry with the chair, and there we go. We're off to the races. God. Almost Hogan-esque chair shots. 3 heat shots. 4. 5. And Funk goes down. Tries to pile drive him onto the bare concrete. Misses. Then does it. Keeps calling to Ric Flair. Tells him to come out and stop it. Funk just turns all of his attention to Ric Flair. Tells him, I don't need to beat on this kid anymore. Shivani, this is the most bizarre thing we've ever witnessed. You say that all the time. Ref just calls for the bell. And the paramedics. Tenay's watching in the back. Arn Anderson comes up to him. Arn Anderson tells Tenay to get a camera crew because he's going to have his answer in 2 minutes. So we get the camera crew. He runs down Funk for saying he didn't need to do what he did, but Flair should have stopped it. Want to know what side he's taking? He's bowing out. Oh, God, here comes Disco Dick Nuts. Disco Dick Nuts versus Stevie Ray. Next slide. Refs are trying to keep Big T and Jay Biggs from ringside. Send him to the back. And Stevie wins. Jarrett's with Scott Hall. Talking about the match being a title match tonight. Gene's with Sid. And we see Flair and the ladies getting back in the limo and leaving. Why the fuck did they show up at? I have no idea what's going on. Brian Knobbs and Fit Finlay are walking to the ring. Bam Bam's already there. Knobbs has the Hardcore Championship. And they're just arguing and F-bombing each other. It's just nonstop bleeps. You can't hear half of what they're saying. Bam Bam just throws a garbage can at him from the ring. Oh, you throwing garbage cans now, huh? It's a shit show. Fit Finlay ends up hitting Knobbs with a chair. Bam Bam pins him. Fast 3 count. Bam Bam Bigelow is the WCW Hardcore Champion in the year 2000. Lenny Lane and Lodi are brawling with the Mamalukes backstage. And next, coming up, Billy Kidman is taking on the Demon. I can't hit the 10-second skip button fast enough. Get a shot of Crowbar rocking out in the back, watching it on the monitor. Kidman wins. Crowbar comes in, beats the shit out of Kidman post-match. See Liz and Luger backstage. Luger has a chair. It has the Hulkster logo on it. Oh, because Luger's facing Hogan at Super Brawl. Because reasons? Apparently Hogan returned on Thunder. Because again, why do it on the main show? Sounds like another promotion. I just don't know. He says last Wednesday on Thunder. Kayfabe, pal. Luger cuts a promo. I don't know. Words. And then randomly calls out Jimmy Hart. Well, I guess not randomly. I mean, you know. Jimmy Hart comes out. He's dressed like a production assistant or something. Looks like he's filming. He's got a pass hanging around his neck. Oh, he's actually got a headset on, so he's probably in Gorilla. Apparently Luger wants Hart to deliver a message to Hogan. Hart calls Luger a Hulk Hogan wannabe. Hart says, if you have a message for Hulk Hogan, you can tell him yourself. And then Luger racks Jimmy Hart. Liz sets Jimmy Hart up to be Pillmanized. After all that, the message was, I will see you at Summer Brawl, which, not Summer Brawl, Jesus Christ, Super Brawl. We knew that already, didn't we? They said that earlier in the show, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so just broke Jimmy Hart's arm for nothing. I mean, you know, broke. And thank baby Jesus, with about 5.5 minutes left, we get our main event. It is Scott Hall versus Sid for the WCW World title. And when I said with 5.5 minutes left, that was just the beginning of the entrances, not the actual match. think we got about 4 minutes left after the entrances. Ref bump because wrestling. Jarrett runs out, starts beating on Sid with the ref down. Hall hits the razor's edge, goes for the pin. The ref is still down. Hall's trying to wake up the ref. Jarrett comes in. He's pissed off, pulls Hall off of the pin. Jarrett hits Hall with the guitar. Rolls Sid on top of Scott Hall. Jarrett goes, wakes up the ref, and Sid gets the pin. Shivani again. I can't believe what we just saw. You say that it's the third time you've said it tonight. Stop. And thank God. Good night, folks. Well, now that that shit show is over, it's time for the top topic, and enjoy quite possibly our longest bumper ever at 4.5 minutes. Take it away.
Disappear and bullets fly. Little gray men are coming our way. Tastes just like
Well, what a big fucking surprise. The IT guy couldn't find his fucking head from the hole in the ground. We got something a little bit special today. We got 2 special guests. We got Wheezy returning. Say hello.
What up?
Next slide. And we've got Buster.
How's it going?
Buster, this is awesome. I bet you he's going to be so pissed off. He's going to go from laughing through the whole episode in extreme agony and pain to being pissed off. But it's worth it. I hope everybody enjoyed the 4.5-minute montage of Clutch songs. I figured I'd do something special for this show. So reason I picked Clutch is I've brought it up to Professor a few times. I'm sure he's listened to a song here or there. I don't think he really cares that much. That's why I figured I'd pull you guys in. I figured it'd be a good opportunity for us to just fuck around and talk about it. We've got a lifelong fan and a converted fan and another lifelong fan, so it ought to be quite interesting. So Wheezy, let's start with you since you kind of have the hate-love relationship with Clutch.
Yeah. Pretty much when you started liking him, I didn't like him. That was just more because I didn't like, that was a brotherly thing.
Yeah. You were pretty mature back then, like the rest of us.
It was just the music and his voice didn't match for me at the time, I think. Because I like Space Grass, right? Is one of my favorite songs. That was like the only song that I would jam back in the day. But then later down the road, when they did some different, got more funky and he aged, that's when I started digging it more. But if you like screaming music too, I don't know, you're kind of picky about it. You don't like a lot of the heavy shit that I listen to these days, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, I guess. But yeah, that's I used to get so pissed too. I'm like, I'm doing a Clutch concert. I'm like, great, I ain't fucking going.
Yeah, right. First one for me was, what the fuck was it? It was Limp Bizkit headlined. Seven Dust was the opener.
Ladies' Night in Cambodia.
Okay, there you go. See, he's been fucking listening longer than I have. He's been way more shows than I have.
Yeah, that was one of the first big ones that I went to.
There you go. And you know what was funny? The next year, Clutch opened for Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely insane. So how long have you been listening to Clutch?
It's probably, I think, I want to say somewhere around 97.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a buddy of mine turned me on to him. He was in a band, and they were actually covering. I'm trying to remember what's. I want to say they were covering Shogun.
Wow!
And that's when I really started listening, and then right before Elephant Riders. So right after like the self-titled album.
Mm-hmm.
That's around when I started hating him. Yeah, right, Joe.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. See, Weezy, you seem to get on board more when they kind of hit their Black Sabbath-y, ZZ Top-ish kind of
a little lighter,
deal.
but a little funkier. I guess just I wasn't the biggest thing is just him screaming at the time. I thought it just sounded like a bunch of bullshit being played all together, and it had no flow. But it just wasn't for me. It's just him screaming and the way they played, it just. I'm like, no, what are you even saying? You sound like a. But no, they grew on me with years. Like that fucking, what is it, 1-0? I don't know why. That's even not one of their best hits, but it just goes sometimes. And they're like, what? And I'm like, fuck am I jam? I don't even look. All right.
You've got one on your Spotify playlist that comes up every once in a while. I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Tune. Yeah, it's a good jam.
Yeah.
I think when I put it on there years ago or whatever, months ago, Christ could be months ago. Yeah, you were like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like this song."
It's kind of a deep track. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find that out. Buster, how many shows have you been to?
It's been at least I've seen them at least 15 to 20 times.
Oh, shit.
When I was down in Virginia, they toured a lot.
Yeah.
I saw them. I probably between 98 and 2000. I probably saw them at least 10 to 12 times.
Jesus.
They came around there all the time.
Well, Trevor's got to be close to 10, right?
I think I'm 11. I was
gonna say, you fucking get because I used to break my bone every time I said I didn't want to go, and you're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. I completely lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was going to say next. That's pretty typical for this show, anyway. Buster, this is probably going to be an easier. Well, maybe not. Favorite song, or 3 favorite songs. How about Rushmore of songs? We do Rushmores around here.
The Regulator.
Oh, that's a good one.
Space grass.
Yeah.
I agree.
Ironically enough, I kind of like hot bottom feeders.
Okay.
It's literally a crab cakes recipe, and they still get jam.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would probably say binge and purge, but that's one of the old ones when he could still really guttural scream.
Yeah, they played that in Niagara Falls recently, and he still nailed it.
He doesn't play it very often because he can't the way they used to. So I'm very annoyed that you got to see him and I didn't play binge and purge.
It was great. It was great. There was some downfalls though. The guitars seemed to be a little bit off. It was muddy or something. I don't know if the sound engineer sucked or whatnot. Wheezy, the song you played, Mr. Freedom. That's what it is.
Feels good because so I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna go top song back. And I'm glad you got my song because I'm like, shit, I really like that song, but I don't even know the fucking name to it. So I knew you were looking it up. Then I'm scrolling through the fucking things like a dick. But anyways, Space Grass, that tune. I don't remember my third one, so I'm gonna make one up. No, it could be a random one. Sure, and I know because I know I know more of these songs. It just I was not huge on Clutch. He said the regulator. I think I know that song.
Oh yeah, you definitely know that song.
Yeah.
Oh, 10011.
Yeah, I go with that because I know but I can always get down with Space Grass.
Yeah, that's a classic. Buster, before I get to mine, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you ever see him at the 930?
I did not get to see them at the 930. I was down in Virginia Beach, so the 930 would have been like an hour and a half to 2 hours up by DC, and I never got a chance to get to see them there.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, there's a famous club that they played a lot. I mean, famous to the area, I guess. I didn't know about it until I saw they played there, but they did a live like DVD and CD release for a show they did there. I think that's the one where they played the entire self-titled album.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good if you want to check that out. Oh boy, I guess I got to give an answer here, huh?
Wait.
Yeah, we're just going to put some cricket sounds and some dead noise here for the next 5 minutes while I figure it out. Big Fat Pig is definitely one of my favorites. It's a hell of a jam. It's from CD Jam Room where they basically just got like an apartment and got in there for, I want to say it was at one day, and they just laid down a bunch of tracks. It's not like the cleanest album or anything, but that song's a fucking banger. In the Wake of the Swollen Goat, that's a good one off of Blast Tyrant. I really like that one. Shit. There is a alternate version of Tight Like That they did on Basket of Eggs, I think.
Yep.
Which was like a bunch of unreleased. That's a really, really good one.
The real slow one. It's real slow and real groovy.
Acoustic. Yeah, it's dope. And then man, this is gonna be hard because there's two off of Robot Hive that I really love. Incomparable Mr. Flannery is a great opening track, but I think I got to give the fourth spot to Burning Beard. That's got to be it. Getting all choked up about it.
I remember one of these songs if I heard them. Yeah, I know a lot of them. I just don't remember the names.
All right. Well, there you go. There's Clutch in a nutshell. If you like stoner rock or ZZ Top or screamo or anything in between, you'll probably find a Clutch song that you like. And believe it or not, if you watch TV shows, there's probably a TV show that's had a Clutch song, probably Regulator in it, or Mob Goes Wild, or maybe Electric Worry. So, again, getting all choked up. See what happens when the professor isn't here? Well, speaking of the professor, this is usually where he turns it over to me and asks me for final words. But you know what? I'm running this show now since his throat is fucking broken. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. And you guys, I'm going to turn it over to you guys for your final thoughts. Wheezy, what you got?
My final thoughts? The show's fucking trash. You guys never hit fucking record. Right? We had John. We had to sit here for what? Half an hour?
Something like that. More or less. More or less.
No, I'm just kidding. I hope Mark's doing all right. We've been texting him back and forth. And it's funny. It's a lot easier when, but yeah, I'm going to have to turn it over to John so I can think of something to bash him with. I'm usually the one-liners.
You're not ready for it.
Don't worry, I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I think Clutch in general, I just think is probably in my opinion, the best rock and roll band, American rock and roll band in the last 40 years. Because they've encompassed everything from heavy to groove to, I mean, popular rock, radio rock. They've covered every angle of everything, and I don't think anybody's really as good as them, in my opinion. They are my number one. They are my number one.
So you're number one band?
Yes, sir.
I think that's fair. Definitely not number one here. I wouldn't even give it an 8.
Nothing's number one over there.
I wouldn't even give it an 8.
Opinions vary.
No, they're all right. I wasn't too, it's the modern stuff. I can dig it. Got more funky and slowed down a little bit. You can actually hear what the hell he's saying.
Yeah.
But scope them out. Well, exactly what Joe said, though. Yeah. I mean, wish we would have done another band. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, well, there's probably all next week. Let's see how long it's
breaking
for.
So Mark still is not, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mark has never heard Clutch, right?
No, I've sent him some songs before. He's definitely listened to them, or he just responded pretty cool.
I sent him the entire playlist that I have on my Spotify. So he has no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. That's all right. Like I said, he's going to get a nice sampler when he listens to this episode with that bumper I made. So
I can't wait for your fucking report.
Yeah, well, the best part is your audio is so shitty, you're probably not going to be able to hear half of what you said through this whole thing. So I just might put fucking wah, 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 wah.
Oh, good. It's not just me then.
Yeah.
I smoked a bowl before I came in. That's all.
You're actually pretty coherent. I'm a fucking.
It sounds like you're talking into an aluminum can.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not.
You sure?
Does it look like?
You sure? Plonka. Twat.
Can you cook a fucking muscle?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Where do we go from here?
Oh, it's your show.
All right. I guess fly Eagles because fuck the Chiefs.
Oh, I like that answer. Go Birds.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right.
But I still ain't fucking watching it.
Yep, same here. Fuck the Super Bowl, dude. Let's go bowling.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM The Doc Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks.
Professor, you plonker, twat, you tosser, you have one job to do. You and your bollocks throat. You're a right cunt.